Mike Tyson's well-being given the 31 age distinction among him and his rival. While Tyson might in any case have impressive punching influence, concerns rotate around his possibly lessened reflex, contrasted with the more youthful previous Disney star, raising the gamble of a serious physical issue for the unbelievable warrior. Anyway, Tyson, as of late, cautioned Jake, saying, "I got Jake going and I will complete him." Yet, Jake isn't apprehensive about it, as he said, "It's a distinction to get in the ring with Mike Tyson. I'm not terrible, but not great either, respected your legend, yet I will take your lofty position, sibling." Yet remember Tyson's common sciatica issues, which discontinuously discharge up, and it arranges a disturbing picture for him. Yet the thought of the baddest man on earth accomplishing a shocking triumph over the issue kid isn't totally unattainable. So what's Tyson's technique for this impending fight? Embracing good representation. However, in this situation, it's all the more a dreary vision. Mike Tyson has started off the commencement for Jake Paul's eagerly awaited reminder booked for November 15th, beginning on August 6th. 2024, Tyson's clock is ticking down the 101 days until their 8-round heavyweight standoff. He posted a screen capture on his Instagram story, subtitling it with "Jake Paul can hardly stand by." Accordingly, Paul took to his own Instagram story, sharing flushed face emoticons that indicate a blend of fervor and anxiety about the forthcoming match prior to confronting Jake Paul in the squared circle. Mike Tyson uncovered his desire to go through a stimulating encounter. Tyson's interest with hallucinogenics is broadly remembered. It's said that he has explored different avenues regarding these substances almost multiple times prior to getting back in the game to the ring. Tyson communicated a craving for a significant otherworldly excursion in a meeting with Esquire magazine. He uncovered his aim to take a build removed from the toxin of the Sonoran Desert's amphibian in anticipation of setting out on a groundbreaking encounter to interface with a more powerful. He was even seen consuming 4 jar of mushrooms on Logan Paul's digital broadcast Rash in 2020, discussing its good impact. Tyson said, "It makes you pretty target for what's truly happening, and mushrooms truly let you know that you're nothing. Even the mushrooms in the daytime you take in, and the earth begins moving. You take a gander at the ground, it's moving. You take a gander at the plants and the trees, they're moving. They're accomplishing something. It's totally crazy." The effect of Mike Tyson's planned hallucinogenic excursion on his forthcoming battle with Jake Paul is not yet clear. It might actually set off Tyson's unbelievable Alexander outlook, improving his capacity to score a knockout and add Paul to his distinguished co-record when Jake Paul battles Mike Tyson in the confining ring November. He expects a terrifying and rough fight. Got some information about assuming that he will attempt to take Tyson out by hairstylist Vic Collins on his Profound Trim YouTube station. Paul said, "Definitely 100%. I mean, in the event that he has the chance to do it to me, he will take it. He doesn't give a FCK about me. I'm certain he loves me yet by the day's end when the chime rings and we're in a genuine master battle before 80,000 individuals, on the off chance that you think for 1 second that Mike Tyson's making an effort not to rip my head off. You're insane." Paul further added, "You don't play." In closing, "I'm not there to play." And that is the very thing that he needed, thus assuming that is what the legend needs, and he needs to end me in a horrendous manner, then I'm going in there with that equivalent mentality, and I need to be tried. I know that will happen. It won't be simple. Paul, anyway, predicts that it will be savage for the distance and doesn't think either man will be done when they get down to business in the circle. He added, "And I don't see a reality where I take him out or he takes me out. I believe it will be brutal the entire way through. I believe there will be a ton of close adjusts, and I believe it's about to come down to on the night who needs it more." Paul likewise noticed that while Iron Mike enjoys the benefit in various regions, he'll have the option to underwrite in regions where he feels more grounded. He happened as far as experience and influence and weight. He enjoys the benefit, yet as far as youth speed, and I surmise my footwork being outwardly my physicality. As of now, I enjoy the benefit, so to me, it's actually an even matchup, and that is unnerving yet, in addition, energizing. Simultaneously frequently hailed as one of the best heavyweight fighters in history, Tyson established his status as undisputed boss by effectively protecting his WBA and WBC titles and catching the IBF belt with a consistent choice triumph over Tony Exhaust in August 1987. He would proceed to shield his titles multiple times prior to being suddenly crushed by Buster Douglas in 1990 following 20 years of wild fights against striking rivals. For example, Blunt, Bruno, Evander Holyfield, Lennox Lewis, and Michael Spinks. Tyson finished up his expert vocation in 2000. and 5'5", with an amazing records of 50 successes and 6 misfortunes, remembering 44 knockouts. His last debut for the ring was a 2020 display match against Roy Jones Jr., which finished in a split draw after 8 rounds. Carl FRCH, in the meantime, as of late, guaranteed in a meeting that Tyson is too old to be in any way in the ring. Jake was likewise gone after by previous middleweight world boxing champion Frock, who alluded to the YouTuber turned fighter as that a very remarkable piece and said that individuals were bothered by him since he had just confronted adversaries who were extensively lighter than him. He was additionally addressed on comments he made in regards to Paul's desire for Tyson's battle to win any case beyond his vocation record. FR said, that is to make a greater amount of ing mix, that is to piss more individuals off. My main hamburger with Jake Paul is that he can't actually battle. He's not an expert fighter. He's not even in shape. He looks plump. He has a layer over him. He couldn't look etched. And I don't say whether he views the preparation in a serious way. FR further added, when Paul has a few stone weight advantage on these folks he's battled, that far's a jumble. It's unreasonable he enjoys an out-of-line benefit when he battles. He's that a very remarkable __. He fixes things such that he's such a ton heavier than his adversary. He enjoys such a benefit. Tyson has contended in the heavyweight division at around 220 pounds, where weight limits are not forced, though Paul has battled in the cruiserweight class at around 200 pounds before the battle was deferred. Paul supposedly intended to build up to 240 pounds, proposing to trim down to his battle weight later following his last proficient match in 2005. The 58-year-old previous undisputed boss uncovered to his fans that he had lost his battling soul and edge George Foreman, who resigned from boxing 10 years prior just to return and guarantee a world title at 45, positively knows pretty much everything there is to know about rebounds when NY Battle recommended to the unbelievable large George that Tyson ought to in any case have the option to drop and stop Paul. Even at his flow age, Foreman offered an unmistakable and smart reaction. He said Jake Paul is no weakling, and he isn't apprehensive about any of these folks. Things are undoubtedly looking up for him, so glad for Mike Tyson. He really wanted this fervor in his life. Everybody is discussing it. Reply to your inquiry, no. In an alternate piece for you today, Foreman counseled Tyson while as yet lauding the more youthful fighter. He said, be cautious with Paul. Simply because Paul has stunts, Tyson gets hit with one punch at his age. You begin to hear entertaining commotions. Tyson and Paul will battle in 8 2-minute rounds while unfolding 16-0 gloves, a first for the game. Unquestionably, Tyson's abundance of involvement eclipses Paul's, featured by his considerable punching influence at the level of his profession, which pushed him to the highest point of the boxing scene as the undisputed top dog. His preparation recordings regularly uncovered looks at his fearsome strength. Conversely, Paul has asserted that he will convey the killer blow and proposed that his own influence could match that of the unbelievable contender he referenced. I realize I will actually want to. I'm a characteristic conceived heavyweight. This is what I was destined to do, climb into this weight class and show Mike who has more influence since he is misjudging me, and I accept. I hit harder, Paul further added. I know it will be extreme. I realize I must battle through difficulty. I realize I could try and go to the material. I'm terrified. Don't misunderstand me, yet it's not necessary to focus on the trepidation halting me. It's tied in with going into it, despite the fact that I am frightened. That genuine courage is Tom Aspen's new remarks on Jake Paul have gotten many off guard. Their surprising profundity following his great win against Curtis Edges at UFC 304. The English Warrior is currently looking at a matchup with John Jones as he hangs tight for his impending title opportunity. Aspen has directed his concentration toward Jake Paul, joined by Carl Cobra FR, who has likewise communicated a prominent premium in the disagreeable fighter. Aspen anyway furnished the 4-time best on the planet with extra experiences. Pay attention to his viewpoints. With regards to this issue, on the show, Honey Badger had a vivacious visit with the previous brought together IBUF and WBA super middleweight champion, covered a scope of subjects including the UFC. The conversation went to the issue. Kid and FRCH voiced his excitement for an expected session with him. Aspen said, assuming that you need my fair assessment, I think you're over, that I don't figure you shouldn't battle Jake Paul. When FRCH suggested that there was huge load of cash in it, the break heavyweight boss of the UFC console him by expressing that he now has abundance. FR then said, and I won't have any desire to get hit right in the face by anyone who might genuinely punch on the grounds that my well-being is more significant. Yet, I think Jake Paul is a simple coworker as of now. Aspen, everyone via that, while Paul could be preferable over He initially thought he actually misses the mark when estimated against a title holder fighter. He said, truth be told, he is superior to I initially thought, yet assuming you contrast him with like a genuine boxing best on the Planet Aspen anyway cautioned Mike Tyson about the risks of his forthcoming fig. Anyway, Mike Tyson has been forewarned about the potential for a horrendous outcome in his impending bout against Paul. The eagerly awaited standoff between the 58-year-old previous title holder and the 27-year-old Paul has lighted a tempest of contention since its declaration. Tyson is preparing for a profoundly expected return to the ring this November, yet, as the occasion gravitates toward the unbelievable fighters, possibilities look progressively dreary. Many key voices in the boxing scene are voicing questions about his capacity to perform at the level he once did, among them, wellness master Dave Hancock, eminent for his work with Chelsea Leeds and the Britain Public Group, has featured serious clinical dangers related with the session. Looking from the external, Mike Tyson's rebound is simply cash-driven. He expressed addressing OBG. He added, on the off chance that somebody will offer you X to do Y, you can pursue a choice regardless of whether to do that at whatever stage in life. So subsequently, your motivator is money. Consequently, you will be ready to risk your body in those conditions in that sport. Since you realize the prize is the money. After Tyson pulled out of the session, Paul got uncovered knuckle boxing champion Mike Perry as a substitution and took him out unequivocally. Following the triumph, Paul contacted Tyson, encouraging him to sign the agreement for their November match. He added, Mike, I love you, yet this is my game. You're a legend. You're one of the two most renowned fighters ever to reside you and partner. It's a distinction to get in the ring with you. I'm not terrible, but not great either. Respected, you're a legend, yet I will take your lofty position, sibling, despite the fact that Mike Tyson is 31 years more seasoned than YouTuber turned fighter Jake Paul. The legend isn't terrified to take on the man in their enthusiastically expected match this fall, Tyson said. I don't figure he can hurt me. Tyson shared how loved ones more than once advised him about the risks of confronting Paul, yet he stays unfaltering, seeing no space for banter. I'm a magnificence addict. I love individuals contemplating me the entire day, Tyson told the Power Source in an interview that occurred only days before he experienced a health-related crisis on a flight. He added, I'd prefer carry on with a short existence of brilliance than a long existence of haziness. It's exactly who I am. This is all I began battling for to get this status. I'm moving to pursue it until the end of my life. I realize that I'm never going to get what I need since I'm one of those pigs for torment. I can never get enough. Joe Rogan has communicated worries over the likely risks of Mike Tyson's battle with Jake Paul, especially given the huge age contrast between the two. When the matchup was reported, boxing enthusiast fans were frightened by the possibility of Tyson, who will be 31 years Paul's senior, venturing into the ring with him. Rogan's misgivings about a worse situation imaginable turned out to be more articulated before the session was authoritatively affirmed as an expert battle. By then, Rogan commented that the session among Tyson and Paul was as yet unverified and could confront dissatisfaction, especially assuming there was extensive public opposition. He brought up the potential dangers, including the likelihood that a disastrous occasion, for example, Tyson's passing, could at last wreck the battle.